That's rolling.
Well, it's that time again.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in and watching.
Wisdom in Golf, Golf WRX, Perfect Imperfections. And I'm telling you, this Masters, that was, we didn't have much of a chance to have a look, but we were definitely listening on Sirius XM on the way home on yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that it fell on the same weekend as Easter.
Yes.
Because our family gatherings are no TV.
Yeah, exactly. Being polite and everything.
Yeah.
You gotta be with family. When you're with family, you be with family, unless you're all watching the Masters at the same time, and we're the only golfers in the house. So what can you tell them?
But we were keeping up with it.
Big time, and there's obviously a lot to talk about. As far as what's going to help your game in there, two huge examples come to mind. Phil Mickelson. And that was really awesome to see his 65 in the final round and him knocking down a bunch of flag sticks on the back nine. I saw some of the replays. And especially, and this is where you can really glean a lot of positive things from a person's interview in the press room. And Phil's main theme was focus. And those are the things that he's working on with his brother right now, on how to keep them, hey, when the focus starts to wane, what do we do to get it to reel it back in, right? And so it doesn't stray too far away, and then we can get it back in. And that's typically what meditation is all about, right? So you apply your meditation to a specific area, and then you'll obviously wane off of that. Mm-hmm. And then after that, you reel yourself back in, and then that's how you stay with your task. So Phil Mickelson's is obviously getting better at meditating. And that's what it's all about out on the golf course. And so next time I hear Phil Mickelson say, my focus is feeling pretty good. And when he makes a comparison to Kiowa Island and the PGA that he won, I may throw a bit of money that way. I think that would be a really safe bet, because he said it himself. It's not about technique. It's not about my swing. I haven't been working on my swing. I've been working on my focus, which leads me straight over to Jordan Spieth. And Jordan had a few loose swings, quote unquote. Where do you think a loose swing comes from? And then he continues and he says, well, I had targets. I had my targets about 50% of the time. I wish it was 100%. And I remember the days where, in 2015, where he said, small target, small mistake. And it was all about the target.
Right.
Now it's sometimes about the target.
Yeah.
What the heck happened? And you don't have to look very far to find a loose swing, especially when the eyes are wandering in the back, looking at where if he's found his positions.
Right. Talk
about unplugging yourself from, the task at hand. And how do you reorganize that? It's just too fast. So yes, with practice and all that stuff, but I mean, there's still way too much going on. There's way too much to get distracted from, and that's where you'll get the loose cannons.
Right.
And that's where you just can't put your money on Jordan Spieth right now, because it's still a liability on certain shots. Yeah. And you just don't know where it's going to come out.
Which is so unfortunate, because he's super talented. Like, he could be winning so many more tournaments.
A lot.
He just has a...
He's basically playing with a hand tied behind his back right now. Mm-hmm. And that hand is his brain. Mm-hmm. right? Yeah. It's not about, a defect coming out of Jordan. It's about, hey, what the heck was I thinking back there? What was my target? And when he says 50% of his targets?
Yeah, that's not good.
Ouch.
Well, 50% of his targets coming from somebody who was dead set on, small target, small mistake.
Right.
So.
When he doesn't have a target, what the heck is he thinking? Mm-hmm. I'd like to know about that. It's what's occupying that mind space when there is no target? So you're telling me, okay, we're going to hop in the car and we're on our way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's say, I'm picking you up somewhere, listener. And, I show up at your house and it's me. And I'm saying, hey, come on, we're going for a drive. What's the first question you want to ask me?
Where are we going?
Exactly. That's the first question. Oh, it's Sean. Wow, that's pretty cool. Okay, where are we going? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm okay. We're going to go to your local golf course. We're going to hit some balls together. You go, oh. So as soon as I said that, you have a picture in your mind of where you're turning, what intersections are you turning. It's a light, it's a stop sign, whatever. You know exactly where we're going. And now we can go there. And if I say, hey, we're going to stop by at the coffee shop at the Starbucks and we'll grab a couple of coffees on the way. Well, that's you collecting the coffee on the way to the target, right? Mm-hmm. Collecting the ball on the way to the target. So if I don't say anything and I'll say, hey, just hop in, and you hop into the car, you're going to go, well, I wonder where we're going. And then I make a turn. You go, okay, so I guess we're not going there. And you go by process of elimination. And then when we get there, you go, oh, that's where we're going. You don't want to play golf that way. It's very simple. Mm-hmm. It's we need to go there. Like what John Rahm, everybody's got a plan of attack. And John Rahm says, in the last 4 holes, I need to be under par to win this tournament. Right?
It's a lot of pressure putting yourself.
No, it's a mission.
Oh, okay. Right.
Right?
Perspective, yeah.
Whereas Kenny Perry, when he lost the Masters, he was leading by 2 after 16 and made a nice birdie on 16, and off he goes. Got 2 holes left. He's 2 strokes in the lead. He's got the tournament in his grasp. And he bogeys 17 and he bogeys 18, goes into a playoff and loses. One of the most heartbreaking, scenarios you could imagine. So Rahm, on the other hand, feels that, hey, if I'm 3 up, I got to go 4 up.
Oh, okay.
And now that I'm up, I have to finish these 4 holes under par to absolutely have this event.
He's a good closer, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you have that mindset, you say, okay, what do I need to do to make sure I'm under par in these 4 holes? Okay, so 15, I need to make birdie, which means the drive's got to be there. And then the second shot's got to be there, and we're going to take our 2 putts or whatever, and we got to make that birdie. So you're on a mission. 16's a birdie hole. So, okay, we got to make birdie on 16. I got to hit the ball there and let the slope bring it there. So I'm very specific about where I need to put the ball to make a birdie. Not, okay, I'm just going to go for the center of the green and, hope I don't make a bogey. That's a very different mindset. Mm-hmm. So when you're on that mission, you say, this is what I want. This is what I need to do to win. All right, then the brain finds a way. And his brain found a way.
Right. And
on 18, he had a wayward tee shot. I think he probably dropped his guard and hit that wayward tee shot and I think he made bogey on the last hole, didn't he? Or did he make a par? Did he get up and down for par?
He had 4.
But I know I remember hearing the tee shot on 18, and then my Sirius XM fried on me. Yeah. I lost reception.
Let me look it up right now.
And thanks, Sav. But he did hit a wayward tee shot. He pulled it left, and that tells me that he kind of dropped his guard there at the end. He wasn't on his mission anymore.
Right.
So, and that's what you have to deal with, right? You're dealing with your thoughts. You're dealing with distractions. You're dealing with the crowd, and finally, one of your students, Moo, was saying how he really performed a lot better.
Yeah, so after lessons, I gave him some homework to do, and then on the weekend he had some range session, and he had his Mevo Plus there to kind of help him gauge the distances he was, building upon.
Yep.
We were working indoors all winter.
Yep.
He's in Indiana, and then he went out and he got some really good results with his 7-iron, carrying 175 to
nice.
180. And then his driver was where we worked on picking height so his angle of attack was +1 to flat. And now he's seeing like 8 degrees plus.
Wow.
So I was
that's huge accomplishment.
Yeah, and he's a very fast learner as I'm learning as a teacher, right? So he takes on to the wisdom and golf philosophy pretty fast.
Yeah.
And he does pretty good with the drills. He understands what they're trying to help him do.
Yeah.
And so yeah, in the process of that learning, he realized like when I'm focused on a target and I'm keeping the swing nice and easy.
Especially when he picks a height.
Yeah, especially when he picks a height. Even with the 7-iron, like when he's swinging smooth and focused on a target, he said there's no strain, and he feels like his ceiling has gone up in terms of improvements. Like he feels like he can see himself getting to the next level.
Yes, sir.
So he's it's awesome to kind of experience that.
When you start seeing that, people, it is so. I mean, you just can't explain. It's like basically being in the desert and figuring out where the oasis is.
Yeah.
And then you make a beeline for it.
Yeah.
And you know it's there.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? And you're on your way there and you know it's there and you're going, okay, I just need to negotiate. All right, don't get bit by this snake over here. Don't fall in that crevice and just keep going toward the oasis.
Yeah.
And that's, man on a mission.
Yeah. And he's
or
a
woman on a mission.
Or woman on a mission.
Person on a mission. There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, it validates what focus, right? Having the right focus, helps you, make the journey a lot smoother.
Yes. Yeah, it's really cool. One of the things that we were talking about too. So what was it, Sav?
He parred.
So he got up and down.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. Remember last podcast we were talking about shot clock.
Yeah, that's right.
You think Cantlay?
The focus of a shot clock instead of a ball rollback? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And wouldn't a shot clock force someone to get focused in a hurry?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like, like all the complaints for Patrick Cantlay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in his shoes right now, and there's no excuse for it. But it's not an enforced rule.
Yeah.
So it's the Masters.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the next to last group, and he's going to do what he can to win the Masters, and nobody's penalizing him for slow play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So why would he change, right?
And you're talking about how kids watch that and then
oh my
take it on and
gosh.
it's like, oh, this is
Yeah.
okay. I can do that.
All of the Patrick Cantlay fans out there, please don't do what he does. I mean, I'm sorry, but when you're taking 5 minutes on a putt, that's highway robbery. And I'm sure that Koepka got affected big time by that because he's a fast player. He's a very decisive player.
Yeah.
And it's like when life is passing you by, and I mean that's just the biggest distraction there is time. Because when Cantlay's robbing you of time, he's forcing a distraction upon you illegally, in my view, right? He's breaking the law of golf, and I think he should be penalized big time for that one.
Yeah, I think like they should, like kind of like how the F1, like if they see it like an infraction, you just get served a penalty after to kind of discourage that behavior in a way.
I mean, that behavior's got to go now. Like,
Because a lot of people had commented about it. It wasn't just like one or two people that were upset with it. It was like a lot of people.
Well, yeah, Victor Hovland walking down the fairway.
As Patrick's hitting his shot.
It's like enough is enough.
Yeah.
Boy, let's go.
And there's another video of Victor chipping onto the green, and Patrick was still walking down the fairway. Hadn't even crossed the bridge up to the green yet. And Victor's already
How does that happen?
Yeah, that's just like,
Very
whoa.
suspect.
That's whoa.
Yeah.
And he didn't get the message.
Yeah, it's true. Where's the marshal? Like to tell them no to pick it up.
That's it. I mean, when that happened to me, we've talked about this in a past podcast, but it's worth repeating. The person I was playing with was progressively getting slower as the round was going on, and we were just starting. And we got out of position after hole 4.
Damn.
I mean, the group ahead was leaving us in the dust. They were 2 holes ahead of us. So I called in the Marshall. I'm going, Marshall, can you please put us on the clock? And Marshall looks at me crazy. He says, what do you mean you want me to put you on the clock? Marshalls never get that request.
Yeah.
Because you're being penalized. I'm going, I don't care. If this continues, it's over for me.
Right. Yeah, it's over regardless.
Right? It's over regardless.
Yeah.
And that's what put Brooks Koepka in that position. I know it.
Yeah.
It is impossible that did not affect him.
Yeah.
Because he was on a roll.
Yeah.
And I think John Rahm going to multiple trips to the bathroom helped him stay in focus.
Yeah, help him reset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Brooks was just probably stewing in the corner going, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, what is happening right now? And that when you get in that state, it's over.
Yeah.
It also puts, like, Victor in a bad position, too, because Victor's probably standing there like, oh, gosh, I hope they don't think that it's me.
Well, Victor shot 74, didn't he?
Probably messed his internal clock, too.
Yeah.
Victor and Koepka shot 75.
Yeah.
Victor shot 74. That's Cantlay right there.
Yeah.
And
because I also have been in a group where literally on the first hole, Marshall comes up to me and goes, just a heads up, she's a really slow player, so just make sure you guys keep an eye on your pace of play. And I was like,
why would I do that?
pardon?
Yeah,
We're on the first hole, and you're telling me to make sure, like, go talk to her.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It really is. It's
and
just
then,
all you need is a damn shot clock.
But then
that's it.
It was frustrating because then I felt like I automatically had to rush all of my stuff as like a natural reaction to it because I don't want the people behind me to be like, oh, she's so slow. Blah,
my
blah.
25, I know. My 25-second routine was down to 18 seconds. 18 seconds. And this guy was taking a minute and a half to 2.5 minutes.
Wow.
2.5 minutes on putts, about a minute and a half on chips and approach shots, and over a minute on the driver. I'm going, this is insane. I can't play.
Yeah.
There's no way. Marshall, get over here. Let's put us on the clock. And then at one point he has the gall to say, Marshall, I feel rushed. And Marshall says, dude, you just took a minute 6 on that last shot. Get your act together or go home.
Yeah.
I'm going home would be a good option right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys, but that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to put the pedal to the metal to get rid of slow play right now.
How would you lay out the format for the timing for, like, say, tee shot, approach shot?
It's laid out in the rules right now in the etiquette.
Okay.
You got 50 seconds for if you're playing first.
Okay.
So you got an extra 10 seconds to organize.
Okay.
So the group gets to the tee box.
Yeah.
And then, boop, shot clock goes.
Okay.
Right? So you got 50 seconds to, grab your club, pick your target, and it's like, dude, it's like you've played a practice round. You know what the hole is. You know what the wind's doing.
Yeah.
On your way from the putting green, you're already organizing yourself mentally for the shot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that.
Right.
My best rounds are early in the morning when there's nobody in front of me and the greens are freshly mown. That's where I've had my best rounds of golf. That's where I shoot my 65s and 66s.
Right.
Because you're not thinking.
Because I'm not,
going.
there's nobody in front of me. I got my rhythm. I'm playing at my pace. And there's 2 or 3 of us playing, and let's go.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. And here they are. They're twosomes and threesomes on tour.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. That's so
They're never playing in foursomes.
No.
Yeah.
And they're taking 6 hours.
Yeah.
Like, come on, people.
Because golf already consumes a huge part of your day, and then to feel like time is just passing you by even more, it's like the feeling of that in a tournament. And especially in a tournament when you're trying to do well and perform and like get a result, and there's a slow play issue. It's like, then that gets in your head, and then you don't want to be there, and then your result's going to be bad, and then it's just a waste of your time, right? Like, it turns into a waste of your time and a waste of, like,
it's
your
life.
Like,
but the thing is, like, it's got to be an annoyance because you're going, okay, are we done? Are we ready yet? Because usually on the first tee, they call you and you're ready on the first tee. And if you're late for your tee time, you get penalized. But what if there's slow play right out of the gate on the first tee?
Yeah.
That never happens.
No.
Right? So it's like, here's your tee time, let's go. And then all of a sudden it's hurry up and wait. So, I mean, it really is. It's insanity itself. You know, it's chaos. And you look at Rahm, he goes to the bathroom, comes back, says, I still can't play. What do I do now? Now you're thinking about what you're going to do next because you're forced to wait right now.
Yeah.
Gives you too much time to think.
Well, yeah.
And too much thinking in golf is not
the
right thing.
when that rhythm's off, and then it is time to play now. Okay, finally, all right. But then you still have that pent up anger,
Yeah, just
right?
frustration.
Yeah, you got
frustration
You're
about
not playing
come on
loose.
already, right? So when Victor Hovland starts walking down the fairway while Cantley's still preparing his first shot, that's anger talking there.
Yeah. That's
You know?
true. Yeah.
And when you're angry and you got all that cortisol flowing through your body, that's not conducive to low scores.
No.
So there we have it. There's the real problem.
Yeah.
We can't imitate that either. We can't make it worse. It's got to get better.
Yeah.
And I think that Augusta National has gone ahead and done so many great things, so many incredible initiatives in the world of golf. This is where they need to, hey, people, it's the Masters. There's only 80 of us playing. Only 80. And then there's a cut. There's only 50 of them playing. There should be no waiting on any golf shot.
Yeah,
So
especially
true.
in groups of like 2 or 3.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. There should be zero wait.
Yeah.
So it's shot clock, people.
Yeah.
And then you think you got volunteers? You get volunteers up the yin-yang with a stopwatch going, okay, I got your
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Give
yeah.
an official.
go ahead. Make my day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Throw the flag if
That's it. I got a flag. I got one here. Right?
Yeah, yellow flag like a football.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Throw the flag up in the air,
Oh,
right?
yeah. The commentator's like, we got a yellow flag on hole number 3.
Yeah.
We got to go check that
got a
out.
flag on the play.
There's a flag on the play. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that'd be exciting.
That would be exciting.
Yeah. And it's got, it's.
Because right now it's stupid. We look ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right? What happened with Cantley, that makes us look stupid. It's like, come on, really?
What's your opinion on the walking interviews for something like the Masters?
No.
Because I know a couple of them were fine,
Yeah.
but then I think a couple of them,
It's got to match the personality,
yeah.
right?
Because I saw Homa did one and he was fine,
Yeah.
but I think I heard something
Like Tom
about
Kim did one. He was great.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they did one with, was it JT? And he
Yeah, JT didn't like his and Rory didn't like his. They both missed the cut.
right.
Yeah.
They both missed the cut.
It's
It's
I
like
don't
it's in your
know.
head, right?
I don't think
Yeah.
I got to do this thing, right? Oh, yeah, I got to, and it's like you're in the middle of a round.
it's really unfair.
Yeah.
It breaks up. Yeah, I'm not for it because it really breaks up the, if you want, just give them a hot mic. It's like we're going to turn on a mic at any given point.
Yeah.
And then don't worry, we'll edit out the Fs.
Right.
Right?
They do it in the
We're not
NFL.
going to use it live. We're just going to pop it in. Hey, let's have it. Here's an interesting talk. And they can all do this in the booth.
Yeah.
Right? It's a hot mic, but it's edited. Don't worry about it. You guys go ahead and talk up a storm. I know how you guys are. And we'll bleep out and edit out the stuff, but it'd be really interesting.
I think it pulls people right out of their focus.
Exactly. So just do your thing. We'll take care of the audio. And at one point, and then you'll learn from it too, because it'll be in the back of your mind. You won't think about it.
Yeah.
That would be way better.
Yeah, and I feel like it'd be a more natural kind of experience all around if it was just like spur of the moment, like kind of thing instead of a planned out interview kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because you would never, you don't see that. You wouldn't tell it.
And when they get on there, there's like 3 of them asking, rapid fire questions.
Oh man, that's
Like
annoying.
there's like I'm on a radio show in Toronto with Naz and Wally, and bless their hearts. I mean, they got an hour to pack in a bunch of stuff.
Right.
They go, Sean, we'd love to have you on the show, and it's 9:40, and then then it's 9:45, and I get on the show, and then it's like rapid fire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're rapid firing, and they sound rushed, asking me the question. I'm going, oh crap, and then I got to rush the answer out there.
Yeah.
And they're all trying to get in on a question, so a question each. You got Naz, you got Wally, and they got Luke, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it sounds like. It reminds me of my rapid fire interviews and with those guys. And I'm going, man, it's like, come on, man.
Well,
Nobody's going to get anything out of that.
Well, you're like a talker, so I can see how it would be harder for you to do that. But
Well, I'm going to rapid fire out there.
People like the short, fast, especially for radio, right? Like it depends on like the situation.
Yeah, and that's why these podcasts are a lot better.
Yeah, that
Me.
suits you better.
Well, it suits a lot of people better,
Yeah.
right? Because it's a normal conversation.
But a lot of people do have a very short attention span. So
Yeah. Well, hopefully you're driving to work, everything's cool, and you're stuck in traffic, and you got no other choice but to listen to us, right?
because you would never
Or a
have
Or a nice walk, leisurely dog walk, walking the dog, yes.
yeah. But like in any other sport, you wouldn't ask like a tennis player to be mic'd up in the middle of their rallies.
It's the flow of focus is everything,
yeah.
right? I mean, talk about a flow. The example that I like the most, Mike Weir, coveting the Canadian Open. Like he got after the Masters, after his major, he wanted the Canadian Open the most. Right?
Yeah.
No Canadian has ever won the Canadian Open since 1952, since Pat Fletcher.
Damn, it's a long time.
So here's Mike leading the tournament, doing great, getting off 10, going to 11, super focused. He got three shots in the lead. He's ahead of VJ, and he's in the zone. Like I've seen him in the zone, and I'm going, okay, this is great. We're doing great. And then I'm going, and then something happens, and all of a sudden he starts losing, one shot after that. It makes like 3 bogeys and 4 holes or something like that. And then one of my students who takes care of security there tells me the story about a patron who's drunk as a skunk, wrapping himself around Mike Weir, going, "I love you, man," right? And wraps himself around him, and they both fall to the ground. And when you're in the zone, right?
Yeah.
And then so Rory comes up, and the expectations for the Masters are through the roof, and he's working his butt off with Bob Rotella, and he's okay. I'm firing. I'm no expectations. I feel relaxed. All the cylinders are firing, and he comes off. He's coming off some really solid golf, and misses the cut. And he's played well at the Masters. He's been in the final group at the Masters. It's not like he doesn't know the golf course and he doesn't play well there. And for Rory to miss the cut, he's from Northern Ireland. He's seen weather. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
That's him out of his element. I mean, he's not. It's not well positioned.
It's not all there right now.
Yeah, I think it's really unfair that they.
Yeah,
The
Put that on
media's.
there's too much break in the focus pattern there, where you have to prepare for that.
Well, especially for a tournament like the Masters, like of all the tournaments.
Like you got millions of people listening right there.
Yeah.
And you want to do a good job for them, so you got to take away from what you're doing.
Yeah.
And when you do that, like Bubba Watson has been misunderstood heavily in that department. If he's comfortable and he's hyper focused, he plays extremely well. Mm-hmm. But when he's distracted and he's on a mission and you're distracting him, he gets
Frazzled.
absolutely irate.
Yeah.
Like that's where you're going to see the bad side of Bubba Watson.
Right.
Tom Weiskopf was that way. Lee Trevino was that way. I mean, you didn't want to get on the bad side of one of those guys. Mm-hmm. And it takes a rare individual to not go off in a situation like that. And Rory is a polite individual, and he's calculated in his approach that way, and I commend him for that. I think the guy who was the real pro at that was Nick Price. Nick Price, if you ask anyone, they'll tell you he's the nicest guy on the planet. And one of my professional friends learned firsthand how that works when he had a pass in the clubhouse and goes to the men's room. He's unzipped and he's taken his, leak. And Nick Price walks in right next to him in the stall adjacent, and and go, oh, that's Nick Price, right? And so he and Nick are having a moment, and he's not saying a word. And while they're having their moment, somebody taps Nick Price on the shoulder. Said, Nick Price, man, you're awesome. Can I have your autograph?
As he's
taking doing his deed, doing his deed.
Yeah.
And to me, like could you imagine what your reaction would be to that? Could you imagine it's like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
And the answer to Nick Price was, it would be my pleasure. If you'll let me wash my hands, I'll meet you outside the restroom, and I'll be glad to oblige.
Wow.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Like, that's world-class patience.
Yeah.
And that's not something that you would get from, 80% of the field.
No.
It's like, what are you doing in here? Can't you see I'm busy?
I can't
right?
I can see Brooks Koepka being.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine if that happened to Brooks? I think he'd just turn around and, finish somewhere else.
I think you give him a side eye and get the message.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
it's a weird place to ask for an autograph,
isn't it?
The bathroom
But
of all places.
when people are starstruck, they don't realize what they do.
True.
And Nick Price recognizes that, and it's a different world out there. So, everybody comes from a different place when they're on a mission, and everybody reacts differently when they're distracted.
Yeah.
So for them, it's all about distraction management. And I think the worst distraction out there is slow play. It's got to be.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Because when when somebody says, I'm trying not to think of anything. When they're overloaded over their shots, and then they're trying to not think of anything. That's when the distractions pour in. If you want distractions, try thinking of nothing. Mm-hmm. The first sound that comes into your ear, you'll be distracted by.
Yeah.
But if you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to stand here and I'm going to hit this shot right here. And this shot is going to do that. And I'm going to go there. And I'm going to let momentum release in that direction. It's going to sound like this, going to feel like this, going to look like this. Now you're immersed in what you want, and you're in the process of delivering. That's when not too many things are going to distract you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So when time forces you to pause and stand there and do nothing.
It's like a beehive over your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is the worst thing that another player could inflict upon another player.
Yeah.
Is force them to wait.
Yeah.
When you have a job and your job is to execute within a certain amount of time. But because they're not enforced, they take liberties and they go, well, I was distracted with some fans, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And they can use any excuse they want. Mm-hmm. But when it's, hey, I don't care. You got 40 seconds. And it's the rub of the green. And the rub of the green, people, is something that has been used since golf has began. In gamesmanship, when you have you hit a shot and it hits a sprinkler head and it bounces into the hazard, the rub of the green. Yeah. Hits a tree and goes into the hole, rub of the green. Mm. It can go both ways. So it's the shot clock. And if you don't get a fan screaming at you within that time, good on you, the rub of the green.
Right.
But if if a toddler runs out and whatever, as long as you're not putting anybody in jeopardy, I'm sure there's going to be a couple of clauses in there. But it's like, hey, the clock was on. He ran way past 40 seconds. He took a minute and a half, and he wasn't being distracted, and the fans there was no, implication. My flag was up, and that was a second flag, so now he's got a 2-stroke penalty. Well, 2 strokes is a lot of money when first place is $3.6 million.
That's true.
Right? What was the first place prize for Masters? It's got to be more than that now.
It was 3 point something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a PGA Tour high level event.
Mm-hmm.
So there's well over $1 million between first and second place.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get penalized 2 strokes, you go from first place to fourth place, right? Or first place to third place.
It's an expensive
And
penalty.
that costs you $2 million.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Well, too bad.
Yeah, it's a hard lesson to learn.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
There it is. That's where we need to go.
It's a flag on the play, and then a yellow card for your first infraction, and a red card.
it.
for the
Right?
second.
Red card.
Yeah, I wonder what a red card would be for
Disqualification.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
DQ.
DQ, yeah.
And what's the problem? There is no problem. What happens in a basketball game when the clock runs out? What happens?
Like the shot clock?
Yeah.
Oh, the
They lose possession.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. They lose possession and it goes back to, so.
There we go.
Yeah.
And what happens when they do that too often? Is there another penalty, or do they just lose
Oh,
possession?
I think they probably just get like a warning or technical. So
technical foul, yeah.
Technical to the team or to the coach, something like that.
Right.
Usually, and then the other team gets a free shot.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's
so-
going to cost them.
Yeah, it's going to cost them, yeah.
So there it is.
I'm sure something I have to mull over.
And they're doing that in baseball now too for the pitcher, right?
That's it. Yeah, I think it's gonna really speed up the game a lot better, and like
That's it.
Baseball takes
Football's a
forever.
given.
yeah,
You can't have a team wait,
no,
right?
Yeah,
So
sure.
why would you have Brooks Koepka wait or John Rahm wait? I'm sorry, they have a team too.
Yeah, I wonder how it's gonna affect because everyone's a different internal clock in terms of how they make their decisions and
Gotta adapt.
routine. But yeah, you can adapt easily
That's
within
what
those
we are.
parameters.
We're adaptation tools.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And we can't take more than a day to play a game of golf.
no,
Nobody be playing.
no,
So
Yeah.
nobody would play this game.
Yeah.
So as far as the being good for the game of golf, I think it would be the greatest thing that would ever happen to golf is shot clock.
yeah. I think it would add another extra dimension to it to make it more interesting.
So and if that were to, oh man, I tell you, local events, it would be so much fun.
Yeah,
It's like beep, you're on the clock,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, and beep,
Yeah.
you're overtime,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like penalty or warning or whatever.
Yeah, you get
Right?
a warning, yeah.
Could you imagine now you have leverage against those people?
Yeah.
You people.
Yeah.
That's what you are. You are those people. I'm sorry, but that's it.
The two things that'll push people away from the game of golf
Yeah,
is one, the ball rollback. That'll push people away from the game.
Yep.
And two, not enforcing a shot clock for slow play or not
Do
handling
you know how many people
slow
just
play
don't play golf
properly.
because
It
it's-
takes too long.
takes too long?
Yeah. It's true.
It takes too long.
It would definitely weed out the ones that
The golf courses are losing money. Hey,
Yeah.
we have a 6-month window here in Canada, right? And in the northern U.S. You have a 6-month window. You got to make hay while the sun shines.
true.
And if you got slow play every day and people are not getting off the golf course fast enough and people are going, hey, I want my money back because I'm not playing golf right now.
Yeah.
So if I'm not playing golf, whose fault is that? That's your fault. That's your management. You're not getting people
And
through here.
I've been on the receiving end of that as customer service at a golf course.
Yep.
I worked at a golf course in the pro shop while I was at school. And it was a little municipal public course. And this group came in afternoon time. And, they were one of those groups that were going to be drinking and having a ball. And I said, well, do you want 18 or 9 holes? I said, you could pay for 9 now and pay for 9 later if you decide to do the 18, or you pay the 18 up front and you get your round in. I told them that straight up. And I was there by myself. No manager, no associate. And they came back in and wanted a refund for the 9 holes that they didn't play because they ran out of time.
Right.
I said, well, I don't have the access to give refunds. That's the manager.
Right.
It's like 9 o'clock at night right now. Like, I'm the only one there. I'm closing. And one of the guys in the group was drunk.
Oh, boy.
Mad and frustrated that I couldn't give the refund. And I got
lambasted,
plastered. And I'm there as a 120-pound teenage girl with irate men wanting a refund because they couldn't get their you-know-what together to finish their round on time when I gave them the option ahead of time. That is not a fun place to be in. And I was shaking. I was physically shaking on the phone with my manager, and my manager wasn't giving me any help because she was like, well, sorry, they didn't do it, so I'm not giving a refund either. And I'm like, you do understand that I'm here by myself with angry men who want their money back.
Yeah, it's not safe. No, I would have given them money back, and then I would have said I quit.
I needed the code, though. I needed the access code for the Interact machine, and she wouldn't give it to me. So I literally could not give them any money back.
And what happened after that? They left?
One of the guys tried to calm the guy down, and they ended up leaving. But I'm like, I'm by myself, 9 o'clock at night in a parking lot with no lights on.
Yeah, and then you'll never see them again, right? They'll never come back to that golf course, A, and B, you will never go back to work there.
No, after that incident, I was like, I am never closing here by myself. You will have somebody stay with me for closing because this is not safe. And the golf course wasn't in like a very well-populated area either. It was like on the outskirts of Kingston. No lights in the parking lot, no houses around.
Yeah. No, that's nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should never, you should never be put in that position.
And that came from slow play.
Yeah. That's okay.
So
there you have it. Yeah. Pick up your socks right frickin' now, or I'm coming over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool. So you guys are heading out to Hope Sound.
Yeah.
Sure are.
And it's going to be, have you guys checked the weather yet over there?
It might rain.
Yeah, there's a chance of rain.
Okay.
Unfortunately, on was it Saturday?
All 3 days, actually.
All 3 days?
No.
So, yeah.
I'm going to let me check their percentage right now.
Oh, that would not be nice.
If it's under 40%, then I won't acknowledge it.
Yeah, in Florida, too, the weather changes very often, so I'm not too worried. But as of right now, it's not looking super great. Like, Sunday is 90% storms.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
And Friday is 60% storms, and Saturday is 40% storms.
Well, hopefully that'll change between now and then.
Thursday is also 90% storms.
Yikes, really?
Yeah. In Hope Sound and in Orlando for the first couple of days.
Yeah.
It should be
not good timing.
Well, at least you have a cover to hit balls at Jimmy's place.
That's true. I'm excited to see Jimmy's setup and say hello
yeah,
to son.
Jimmy has this gorgeous setup in Claremont, the Claremont National. So check out ClaremontNational.com. And he's got a beautiful top tracer range with a cover and, amazing targets. And, the nightlife is amazing. They got a great restaurant there. So, make it an afternoon or an evening and go check that out. It's the best view of Orlando. Can you imagine? Mm-hmm. There's actually a view of Orlando from higher ground in Florida. That was news to me. So I'm looking forward to seeing Jimmy there next time. I think we're definitely going to stop by his place at the next PGA show.
Right.
So looking forward to that big time. So say hey to Jimmy, and it's I don't know if Jimmy's going to be there, but obviously his son's going to be there.
Okay.
And so it'll be I think it'll be a really cool trip for you guys. So let's keep our fingers crossed for weather.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll get it in. Meanwhile, if it's going to be soggy with a lot of rain at a polo field, looks
it's
like
be all carry.
it's going to be all carry.
Yeah.
And Sav, that 14 degrees angle of attack is going to come in real handy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully the wind's going to be.
Yeah.
Right?
If it's wet, I hope that there's at least a backwind.
Little tailwind.
Little tailwind.
You know, where is it facing?
It's going to be facing the
away from the water.
away from the water. Yeah. That's right.
Away from the water. Okay.
Yeah.
So you may get an ocean breeze there, but if the system's coming in from the west, you probably won't. You'll probably be hitting into the wind.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little
soggy and into the wind?
Yeah, little stingers
That
will
should
be
be
the play.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be an interesting distance on that particular trip. It's going to be very different from the following trip in Colorado.
Colorado, yeah.
Ooh, I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, that one's going to be interesting. Probably going to see a few big balls there.
Yes.
And probably see someone go over 500.
It's a sod farm, right?
Yeah.
So
it was pretty much almost 500 the last time they were
Bigfoot sod
there.
farm.
Yeah.
So it'll be that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay. Well, we'll leave it at that. Wish the two of you the best of luck.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And I'll be headed to Mexico in the last week for the Mexico Open again, and then after that I may be swinging by. It'll either be Texas or L.A. And so we'll keep you posted on that.
Yep.
So all the best, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your week and the post Augusta festivities for John Rahm.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
All the best.
Take care.